Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Apparently, all the problems have been solved. Mother and son are reunited. The child is now safe. He's living in the safest building possible in all of Egypt. Everything's fine. This woman that was alone by herself, no support and no emotional support, now she even has a baby that she can turn to, the queen, who's the only secret believer in the palace, right? Seems like everything's working out wonderfully. And so, I'm reminded of the Lion King. Sorry, Lion King reference. Lion King is a little more ancient Islamic history, so maybe some of you are not old enough to remember. But in the Lion King, there is, of course, there's the lion, Mufasa, and there is the son, which is, what's his name? Very good, Masha. See, the Islamic knowledge here is amazing. So Simba accidentally killed someone. And then he was told to run away and never return. And he ran away. And he spent many years outside in the wilderness with a couple of really interesting characters, Pumbaa and Timon. And they learned to sing some very interesting songs about life together, which means no worries for the rest of your days. It's a problem-free philosophy, right? So they learned that. And there's one particular scene that stuck in my head, because I remember watching this film with my younger sister. She was little at the time. She's older and annoying now. So we watched this film, and we're watching, and there's this scene where they're going on a log of wood, and they're saying, "Awim away," you know, and they're kids, like Simba's a kid. And by the time they're gone through the log, he's actually an adult lion. Right? They fade into him being an adult. So he was singing as a kid, it means no worries for the rest of your days. And then he springs into action and goes, it means no worries for the rest of your days as an adult. Since I'm on a Lion King reference, might as well tell you, he ran away never to return, except one day he got hit with, of all things, a staff, of all things, and then sees a vision, a heavenly vision that tells him to go back and reclaim the kingdom. That was epic. That was pretty amazing. I've never heard, wait. You see the connection? Isn't it silly how much is stolen from like Musa alayhi salam? There's so much Musa alayhi salam plagiarism. It's ridiculous. Anyway, the very next ayah, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ وَاسْتَوَى آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. When he reached puberty, when he reached the teenage years, when Musa alayhi salam became a young adult and became very strong, وَاسْتَوَى, became very strong and tough, آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا, we gave him firm decision-making ability, and we gave him knowledge. Wait a second, in this ayah he has become a teenager. In the previous ayah he was what? He was a baby. Awim away. From a baby to an adult. Now this is a modern film technique. I taught this program in Minnesota, I still remember. And Minnesota has a film school. So a lot of students, astaghfirullah al-azim, Muslims studying film, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. But at least they come to Islamic programs, if you want to call this an Islamic program. But anyway, so they came, and after the program was done, 20 of them come up to me and say, Ustad, we were taking notes during your lecture, which is unusual because we're brothers. But, they're taking notes, and they told me that there are, they learn about these 15, 16 film techniques, storytelling techniques, camera techniques that they talk about in film school, and you virtually went through all of them and 5 and 6 more of them that aren't even taught in our school. And they're telling me all these technical terms, like, I don't know this stuff, I just know the story in the Quran. That's all I know. There are these techniques that are involved in the Quran that are now studied at master's, PhD levels in storytelling and filmmaking, that were already there way before, a millennium and a half before the advent of like any of this stuff. Subhanallah. We don't even appreciate how like timeless the beauty of the Quran is. Again, tonight's not about education. It's about what? Appreciation. How incredibly beautifully does Allah tell a story. So this young man Musa is now a teenager. And Allah says, wastawa, he became muscular, he became strong. Istawa is used for the bark of a tree. So he was ripped, jacked, tanked, whatever you want to call it. He was one of those big guys. So he's a very muscular young man who lives in a castle, who is officially a prince, who's got endless amounts of money, who's got status, who's probably very famous because he's a royal family member, and he's pretty physically able. and he's a teenager. So what does he have going for him? He's got strength, youth, status, wealth, power, fame. Those things, when they come together, usually good things happen, right? When teenagers are really wealthy, really muscular, they do some really smart things. You expect really bad things to happen when these things come together. Yet, this young man, all these things have come together. What does Allah say? آتَيْنَاهُ. We gave him hukman wa ilman. We gave him good decision making, wisdom. You don't associate wisdom with a teenager. But apparently this one, Allah intervened and gave him something that's not normal for young people. He gave him wisdom. And secondly, he gave him knowledge, wa ilman. By the way, you would think what comes first? Knowledge, you learn when you're little, and you get old, and eventually you gain what? Wisdom. Apparently, with Musa alayhi salam, the first thing mentioned is what? Wisdom, and secondarily knowledge, because Allah is telling us wisdom is not necessarily bound by age. And as a matter of fact, between the two, the priority does not go to knowledge. The priority goes to wisdom, to common sense, to good decision making. Let me help you understand that concept, because it's a powerful concept, especially for the young people in the audience. When you're young, your mind is sharp. You can memorize things quickly. You can understand things quickly. You're good at math, you're good at science, you're good at history, you're good at taking tests. But that does not mean you're smart, you have a lot of knowledge, but that does not mean you have any what? Wisdom. So that same kid who gets hundreds on a test is speeding down the highway, driving over 100 miles an hour. Right? He's so smart, but so stupid at the same time. It's incredible that those two things come together in one person. You have this kid who gets 100 in every biology test, but he's a chain smoker. He knows better than anybody else the damage it does, and yet he smokes. He's got a lot of knowledge, but not much what? Wisdom. And Allah highlights the importance of wisdom. Now tell me, is the modern education system, high school, college, university, are they catered to empower young people with knowledge or with wisdom? With knowledge, with absolutely no consideration given to what? Wisdom, none. So you have people that have PhDs who are really stupid. They say and do really unwise things because all the emphasis was on knowledge and none of the emphasis was on wisdom. Who needs wisdom? Who needs wisdom? It baffles the mind how you can have people that are so well educated doing such stupid things. It baffles the mind. The first time it baffled me was when I used to go to college in New York City, and sometimes I used to go to Baruch College, which is in kind of like lower midtown, the 20s. Sometimes I'd go downtown to hang out with some friends. And by Wall Street, you have these executives, right? These are executive types. They're really smart people. They really know how to rob people without letting them know they're robbing them. They're very good at that. So they're walking down the street with like dogs that have sweaters on. And these dogs, they do their business on the side of the street. And they pick it up with napkins and roll it up into a laddu. And then they can't find like a trash can, so they put it in their purse until they find a place to throw it away. And I'm looking at this like, you're so educated. Like a farmer somewhere in like Punjab will look at this and say, how stupid are you? Like, he doesn't even know how to read, but he won't pick up dog poo from the street. But you're doing that, Like, how do you get to this point? Because all the emphasis is on education, none of it on wisdom. And let me scare you a little because you need to be scared. Let me tell you, the Muslim community, the Muslims, mashallah, we were attracted to come to this country because of its work opportunity, its educational allure, its educational opportunity. This is a university town anyway. Austin's a university town. So many of you are part of university. Many of you have high aspirations for your children to receive a good education, a higher education. But let me tell you something flat out, as honestly as I can. There have been many like you before you, and in this day and age also, that have the same exact aspirations for their children. They want their kids to get a good education, but they don't ever talk about getting their kids some good old-fashioned what? Wisdom. So these kids go to med school, they go to college, they become engineers, they become accountants, they become doctors, they become architects, but they make horrible life decisions. They make terrible mistakes in college. They rebel against their parents. And their parents are sitting there wondering, we gave them a good education. How could this happen? It happened because you didn't give them any wisdom. You didn't even give them the chance to acquire that wisdom. Because to you, the only thing that mattered was an education that helps you make money. Money is just one little part of our life. It's important, but it's not the only piece. I'm the first advocate of higher education, but higher education at the expense of wisdom, at the expense of building character, sensible people. At the expense of that, this is a crisis. This is an absolute crisis. And the worst of all, is that we say we're going to solve this crisis by putting our children in Islamic school. And I don't criticize Islamic schools, but I will tell you, as a global phenomenon today, Islamic education is about Islamic information and not about wisdom at all. It's not about character. It's not about the right way to think. It's just memorize these surahs, learn these du'as. This is halal and this is haram. Those gummy bears have gelatin in them. And this one, your socks are too low or your pants are too high. This is all you need to know. And then these same kids are thrown into college, and the first time they come across any kind of philosophical arguments, they are shattered because they're not ready, because all they knew was what breaks their wudu. That's all they knew, and they knew some surahs. And we've done that to them. We have thrown them in that mix, So there's a serious need to take a step back and say, how do you restore wisdom? How do you bring common sense back? How do you raise a child and a young man, a young woman who can think for themselves, who can make sense of the world around them using this faith? This faith is a source of power, a source of strength for them, not a weakness, not something that holds them back, not something they're embarrassed about. It's not something they're embarrassed about, So now, anyway, coming back to Musa alayhi salam, Allah gave him wisdom and knowledge. وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And that is how we reward those who excel. Meaning Musa alayhi salam was one of those go-getters, excelled at everything. When money is good, fame is there, everything is there, then you don't feel like you need to excel because you got everything already. Not Musa alayhi salam, constantly trying to excel. It's also highlighting that he had a very powerful spiritual, inclination. He had ihsan towards Allah. He has two good influences. Who are they? He has two good influences. His mom and his stepmom. Those are his two good influences. So he develops ihsan even at a young age. So now we're talking about a guy who's well-built, young, wealthy, famous, wise, knowledgeable, and on top of that, spiritual. This is the ultimate bachelor. Which is why later on in this surah, he's going to get married. He is actually going to get married. And part of what's towards the end of this program, we're going to learn how to get married. Yeah, that guy just woke up. I love Islam. We'll talk about that, inshallah. We'll get there. Now, the very next ayah, we're learning something amazing about Musa alayhi salam. I'll move the story forward, okay? Musa alayhi salam lived in the castle, but his skin color was different. I already told you that. The people that look like him live in the ghettos, and they have to work all day in the city like slaves, and they're like whipped and beat to work. But the Egyptian sun is really hot. So they work in from the morning until like afternoon time, and when the sun is at its worst, they take a break. It's called siesta in Spanish. You're familiar with siesta? Or qaylula in Arabic. Or in Urdu they call it kaam pe ja raha hoon. Right? Like you take the afternoon off, right? You take the afternoon off and you do nothing until the sun settles down a little bit and you get back to work. So in the afternoon, the entire city is shut down. So they work early in the morning and they work later in the afternoon. And by the way, this is not because they're nice to the slaves. This is because the slave masters who beat them, it's too hot for them. So if there's nobody to beat, it's too hot for them, then they can't make them work, so they give everybody a break. You with me? So Musa alayhi salam wants to help his people because he knows he looks like the slaves. He knows that. And he goes there, but it's illegal to help them. He can't help them. And so if he officially does it, there might be a report against him. So he goes every day in the hot afternoon when nobody's around and the city's shut down because of the siesta. And he goes there and he volunteers and he helps some old man finish his work and he tends to the sick and he does give some charity here, does some project there. This is what he does with his free time. When a young man has money and wealth and has everything you can imagine at that age, and he decides that he's going to use his best afternoons doing what? Serve people. What an amazing human being. What just an amazing human being. What do our young people do? Summer vacation, I don't know what to do, man. It's so hot outside. So hot outside. What are you doing, bro? Nothing? What you doing? Nothing? Yo, can I come over? We do nothing together? Yeah, all right. You know, do something. Do something. And you want to follow the sunnah of Musa alayhi salam, do what? Go help people. Go help people. You know, you've been put in a position of privilege. This is what you should use your privilege for. He goes there in the middle of town square. The streets are empty. وَدَخَلَ الْمَدِينَةَ عَلَى حِينِ غَفْلَةٍ مِّنْ أَهْلِهَا. He entered the city at a time where everybody was knocked out, everybody was sleeping, everybody was taking a break. فَوَجَدَ فِيهَا رَجُلَيْنِ يَقْتَتِلَانِ. He found two men in it. Only two guys in the middle of Times Square. Killing each other. Two guys that are going at it against each other, killing each other. He goes closer. هَذَا مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ وَهَذَا مِنْ عَدُوِّهِ. This one belongs to his people. Meaning this one is what? An Israelite. And this one is from the enemy. This one is from his enemy, which means what? He's what? Egyptian, because he sees the hate with which they look at him. And he sees the way they treat his people. So he's looking at this guy, man, these people are constantly oppressing my ummah. They're constantly oppressing my brothers and sisters. And here they go again. Look at this guy trying to kill my Muslim brother. And the Muslim brother who's taken a beating, what does he say? فَاسْتَغَاثَهُ الَّذِي مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ عَلَى الَّذِي مِنْ عَدُوِّهِ. The guy who was from his people asked him to help him out from above. I'll explain what above means in a second. Against his enemy. You know, in Arabic you can ask for help with any number of words. But the word he chose was فَاسْتَغَاثَ. Istighatha means to ask for rain. It seems that Musa alayhi salam was so massive and so tall that him helping would be like thunder raining from the sky. Like, help me out from up there, bro. He's looking down at this scene. Help me from above, man. Big guy, basically. So Musa alayhi salam, what does he do? فَوَكَزَهُ Musa. He says, my Muslim brother in trouble. I need to do something. He punches the Egyptian. فَوَكَزَهُ Musa. Musa alayhi salam punched him. فَقَضَى عَلَيْهِ. And ended his life immediately. One punch and the man is dead. He's dead. How many witnesses? Tell me how many witnesses? One witness, the guy, his Muslim brother, who was the victim. Musa alayhi salam punches him. Now if you're a young man, big muscular guy, got into your first fight, and you punch the guy and he's knocked out cold, what do you do next? That's right. Israelites, baby. like, you know, something. It's supposed to be a matter of pride. Immediately, by the way, Musa alayhi salam, immediately, قَالَ هَذَا مِنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ. This is from the work of shaitan. This is from the work of the devil. Why in the world did he say that is one of the most important lessons of the evening. Why is this from the work of the devil? Was his intention to help a Muslim brother? Yes. Was his intention to help a Muslim brother who was being oppressed? Yes. Has he seen this 1,000 times before? Yes. So is his intention good or bad? Yet, as soon as he does it, he says this was from the work of shaitan. Why? Because al-ajilatu min ash-shaitan, rushing to judgment and taking action without understanding the complete circumstance and all of its consequences is from the shaitan, even if you have good intention. Even if you have good intention, you take action without fully understanding the situation, you are doing the work of shaitan. Doesn't matter if you have good intention. Shaitan uses lots of people with good intentions too. Because they don't use their head, they just use their heart. The heart says good intention, good enough. I'm doing this for the sake of my ummah. Now you know, this reminds me of a couple of years back, maybe a little more than a year ago. Remember that YouTube video against the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? And I made a few videos about how we should respond, you know, to that sort of thing. I got like bombarded. When I made the Urdu video, I got bombarded with emails from Pakistan. What are you saying? We shouldn't be angry? We shouldn't do anything? And I wrote back a staple response to all those emails. Yes, actually, I am saying the day you, sir, do nothing, that will be a huge contribution to the Ummah. Your greatest accomplishment for Islam will be to do nothing. Someone else might do something. You, please don't. What do we do? Because we love the Prophet so much. Flip some cars over, burn down a KFC because it's kafir fried chicken, or like, you know, like, what are we learning in this ayah? Even if you've seen the Egyptian oppress your Muslim brother, the Israelite, hundreds of times, do you know for sure that who's right and who's wrong this time? Do you know for sure? No, you're overconfident. You don't know the whole case. And it actually turns out that that Muslim brother was a criminal. He was corrupt. He actually started going through the pockets of the other soldier who died. Hey man, thanks a lot, bro, big guy. Looking out, one ummah, baby. Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. You know. By the way, what's your name? Musa. Okay, yo, bro, Musa. Thanks a lot, man. This has been good. But break's about to be over, so you better get out of here. Because if you're standing next to a corpse and soldiers show up, there's going to be a little yellow triangle that pops up first, then it slowly starts turning red, and then they go after you, and you might have to hide into a haystack or turn the corner or blend into a crowd, or the people who laugh should say, Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Something is wrong with your creed. But anyway. So he has to get away from there. He says this is from the work of shaitan. إِنَّهُ عَدُوٌ مُضِلٌّ مُبِينٌ. He is clearly an enemy that misguides, obviously misguides. By the way, young people want to get involved in jihad fi sabilillah, qital fi sabilillah. We want to kill and fight the kuffar. We want to do this, that. Are you clear that you are not going and adding to the mayhem and to the chaos and to the violence and to the unnecessary death and destruction? That you're not becoming a part of the problem and part of this? You are not clear at all. It is your emotions talking. But your intention is good. Guess what? هذا من عمل الشيطان. Especially when it means taking the life of another. If you don't understand the full circumstance, you cannot take action. You cannot take action. The situation today is muddled in so much of the world. But young people want to, like, now we have the situation where people want to fly off out of here and go fight this or that. They don't even know. They don't even know. But they want to do it because their intention is pure. Subhanallah. And by the way, Musa alayhi salam is so amazing. He doesn't just turn to Allah and say, Ya Allah, that wasn't me. That was who? Oh, shaitan. Because some guys do that. They mess up and then they're like, yo, bro, I'm a good guy, but sometimes shaitan gets me, man. Sometimes you don't know what happens. Some shaitan just comes and I hate that guy. Boop, 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 shaitan. Like, it's a partnership, my friend. Shaitan comes and gives you a suggestion, but he cannot control you. You have to make the decision yourself. Which is why in the very next ayah, what does Musa say, alayhi salam? He says, قَالَ رَبِّ إِنِّي ظَلَمْتُ نَفْسِي. Master, I'm the one who in fact wronged myself. I did wrong. I take full responsibility. Yes, I listened to shaitan. I rushed. This is the kind of thing shaitan would want me to do, but that was my fault. That was my fault. I take full responsibility. فَاغْفِرْ لِي. So forgive me. Tell me something. Is Musa a prophet yet? No. Musa is just a young man right now who got involved in this hustle, this little bit of a skirmish, but he is not a prophet. Everybody clear about that? Okay. Here's one of the most important questions that is constantly asked by Muslims all the time. I have done some sin. It's pretty bad. Ustad, I don't want to tell you. Even thinking about it makes me shiver, makes me cry. I can't believe I made this mistake. I don't know what was going on in my head. I regret it. I've made istighfar. I've asked Allah to forgive me, but I can't get out of my head what I did. It's so terrible what I did. I can't believe I let myself do that. How do I move on from that? How do I know Allah actually forgave me? How do I know I can live my life and not be haunted by this mistake? This is the ayah that tells you, Ya Allah, I made a mistake. Forgive me. What mistake did he make? A small mistake or a big mistake? That's a big mistake, man. Taking somebody's life? That's the kind of thing that can haunt you the rest of your life. You'll never be able to get over that. You'd never be able to move on from that. He says to Allah, فَاغْفِرْ لِي. Forgive me. Forgive me. And the next ayah, the next part of the ayah says, فَغَفَرَ لَهُ. Therefore, he forgave him. Tell me, did Allah reveal to him that he's forgiven? No. How do we know that? Because he's not a what yet? He's not a prophet yet. And when you make a mistake and you ask Allah to forgive you, does Allah reveal to you that he's forgiven you? No. But you know what? You have to believe. You absolutely must believe, because of this ayah, that when you ask Allah for forgiveness, that absolutely Allah what? Forgives. And you have absolutely no right to ever think, I'm not sure if Allah forgave me. You don't have a right to think that. If you genuinely asked Allah to forgive, then the guarantee in the ayah is فَغَفَرَ لَهُ, He forgave him. إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Exceeding, He, no doubt about it, He's the one who exceedingly covers up, and forgives. And by the way, the word forgiveness, just a little bit about it, mighfar is a cover. Literally, He covers it so you can pass over it and go. You're not constantly thinking about it because it's covered for you. Allah covers it for you. Move on with your life. Yes, you and I have made mistakes, some big and some small, and we regret them. But the fact that we have made istighfar, the fact that we turn to Allah and ask for forgiveness is enough. Don't let it haunt you for the rest of your life. إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Now Musa alayhi salam is in kind of trouble because he's just committed accidental murder. But he's okay with Allah. Allah forgave him, but that doesn't mean what? That doesn't mean what? The Egyptians forgave him. وَأَصْبَحَ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ خَائِفًا. The next morning he has to come back into the city. It's the morning time. Is the morning time busy or is the morning time empty? Morning time is busy. Afternoon time is empty. Remember that? So he comes into the morning. In the morning time he goes into the same city. خَائِفًا, full of fear. Why is he full of fear? Because cops are looking for what? Who's seen this? Who's seen what happened? There's investigations going on everywhere. Musa is walking around nervous. يَتَرَقَّبُ, watching every single step. فَإِذَا الَّذِي اسْتَنصَرَهُ بِالْأَمْسِ يَسْتَصْرِخُ. Out of nowhere he turns a corner. The same guy that was calling for him the day before, the same guy that sought his help yesterday, is screaming for him again. Hey, bro, come here, I need your help again. Give me one of them super knockout punches. I got another one for you. He's in the same dude's in another fight. And he ran into Musa alayhi salam again. Of all the people he wanted to see. He sees this guy and he's calling him to, hey bro, come, could you, help. Musa alayhi salam's like, no, I'm not doing that again. قَالَ إِنَّكَ لَغَوِيٌّ مُبِينٌ. No way, dude, you are clearly a con artist. You tried to pickpocket the other guy who's beating you up. Now you tried to steal from this guy, he's beating you up. I'm not helping you anymore. So now nobody is helping that corrupt thief of a Muslim who's taken a beating. And his fellow Muslim brother, Musa alayhi salam, is standing there and watching. And Musa alayhi salam starts thinking to himself, yesterday I acted too quickly, and therefore it cost a life. Today I refuse to act, and that might also cost a life. Because that guy's taken a beating, the Egyptian soldier might do what? Might beat him to death. And today I will be guilty again because I could have saved a life. Yesterday I acted too quickly and rashly, and today I refuse to act. Those are two extremes, aren't they? Those are two extremes. The Quran is about balance. So what does he do? فَلَمَّا أَرَادَ أَنْ يَبْطِشَ بِالَّذِي هُوَ عَدُوٌّ لَهُمَا. Finally, when he showed the intent that he's going to come over and grab the guy who is being an enemy to both of them. In other words, he's not going to kill the soldier. What's he going to do? Just grab him and basically immobilize him, basically neutralize the threat. That's all. He's not going to kill anybody. He's just going to grab. By the way, he didn't grab. He just showed the intention. Meaning he leaned off the wall and he started walking towards the fight. Now, who are the two people in the fight? The Egyptian and the corrupt thief, right? The corrupt thief is taking a beating. He's getting pounded, grounded and pounded, whatever you call it. And what does he see from the side of his face as his keema is being made out of it? Who's walking over? Musa is walking over. The guy who's taking a beating thinks to himself, he wasn't helping me a while ago. All of a sudden he's walking over this way. He must be mad about yesterday. And he might be coming over here to join in on the beatdown. I can take a lot of Egyptian punches, but if he throws one of those, it's game over, homie. I need to do something. I need to save myself from that guy, because he must be mad about yesterday. Did Musa come to hit him or to save him? He came to save him, but a criminal, criminals only think ill of other people. So he's thinking he's coming to hurt him. And the only thing he has against Musa is the fact that he's the only witness to the crime. So from the place of taking a beating, he goes, قَالَ يَا Musa. He said, hey, Musa, أَتُرِيدُ أَن تَقْتُلَنِي? Do you want to kill me? كَمَا قَتَلْتَ نَفْسًا بِالْأَمْسِ. You want to kill me like you killed someone yesterday? What time is it? Morning. Are there people around? How did he start his sentence? Hey, Musa, you want to kill me like you did yesterday? The whole street comes to a halt. Everybody's like, and they're all looking at who? Musa alayhi salam. إن تريد إلا أن تكون جبارا في الأرض وما تريد أن تكون من المصلحين. You just want to be a bully going around beating up people. You're not here to do any good. That's what the criminal says. Now Musa alayhi salam has been ratted out in public, in front of the entire crowd. He has to go run into hiding somewhere. He's gone in, the next thing we know, he's gone into hiding. Who's looking for him? Who is looking for him? The cops. The cops reported back to police headquarters. The police headquarters has certain police chiefs, police generals. These generals have a meeting. They have a meeting and they say, listen, we have hated Musa our whole life and he's killed one of our own. If you ever see like a police movie where they kill a cop, what happens to cops if you kill a cop? They go crazy. So these guys have now gone crazy. And did they already dislike Musa? Who remembers why they already disliked Musa? Huh? He reminded them of their failure and he was a prince even though he was from the slave race, right? So those are the two reasons they already hate him. Now he's killed one of our own? What? Oh, we got to take care of this guy. Now the problem is if they arrest him and they bring him back to court and he goes on trial, who's the judge? Firaun. And Firaun has a soft corner for him or no? So Firaun's going to say what? That was pretty bad what you did, but I'm letting you off with a warning. Who's going to get even angrier if that happens? The cops. So the cops say, hey, don't report this to Firaun, all right? We just go, we find this guy, and we take care of him. We don't need to arrest nobody. We just do this. You got this? Yeah, we got it, boss. They're not going to go arrest. They have given the order, shoot to kill. When you're looking for a fugitive, you don't shoot to kill. What do? You arrest. You bring to justice. These guys are not going to do that because this is their opportunity. Plus, if they do arrest him, they know he's going to get off the hook. Because of who? Firaun. So this is why they have decided that they are going to kill him. Except what they don't know is that one of those police chiefs is actually Musa's best friend. He's in that secret meeting. And that friend of his had already become a Muslim. He didn't tell anybody. He's been moving up in the ranks and he's actually a police general, but they have no idea. And so when they made this plan, we're going to kill Musa. Everybody clear? Yeah. Tell your squads, look for him. If you find him, shoot him. Kill him. Does Musa know this? And is maybe Musa's thinking, I should hand myself over to the authorities. And if he does, he's thinking he's going to get arrested, brought to trial. But guess what? He's not going to get arrested. So if he makes the mistake of handing himself over, he's dead. What does the police chief do as soon as he gets out of the meeting? The guy who's his friend. He runs across town to downtown and immediately finds Musa. The question is, how does he find Musa? I thought Musa is what? Hiding. It's his best friend. He would know where he would be hiding. You see? So وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى. From the far end of the city, a man comes running. Why did he come from the far end of the city? Because he came from the government building where the plot was made. And he finds Musa and says, Ya Musa, إِنَّ الْمَلَأَ يَأْتَمِرُونَ بِكَ. Musa, man, the police chiefs, they already hatched a scheme against you. لِيَقْتُلُوكَ. To kill you, not to arrest you. لَمْ يَقُلْ لِيَسْجُنُوكَ. So they can arrest you to kill you. فَخْرُجْ. You need to get out of here. إِنِّي لَكَ مِنَ النَّاصِحِينَ. I'm the only one who means well for you, bro. You can't trust anybody. Don't trust anyone. Don't talk to anyone. You need to go. It is impossible for you to survive going back and packing your bags. There's no way you're going to make it. You need to leave Egypt right now. This got really intense. By the way, how many people were there for khutbah today? My khutbah today was about his friend, right? This is that same friend. That friend is going to come up in surah number 40. But anyway, Musa alayhi salam فَخَرَجَ مِنْهَا. He left the city. He ran away. خَائِفًا, full of fear. يَتَرَقَّبْ, watching every move, watching every step. قَالَ رَبِّي نَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Master, rescue me from the wrongdoing nation. Ya Allah, get me out of here. These are criminal people. Why are they criminal people? Because they won't give me even my day in court. They won't even let me speak. They'll kill me. Ya Allah, get me away from these people. He runs away. On a side note, you guys with me so far? You guys doing okay? On a side note, an important thing on the side. You know, these words in the Quran are not accidental. نَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Rescue me from the wrongdoing nation. The other time you find this same statement, rescue me from the wrongdoing nation, is from the mouth of Asiya radiallahu anha when she's asking Allah refuge from Fir'aun and his people. She says, وَنَجِّنِي مِنْ فِرْعَوْنَ وَعَمَلِهِ وَنَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. So the stepmother and the stepson are making the exact same dua. Guess where he got this dua from? His stepmom. Meaning one of the most important things to teach your children is to make the right dua at the right time. To learn to turn to Allah in a time of difficulty, you know. So they're related and they're also making the same dua in the Quran, which is really beautiful. Anyway, so he escapes the city. Where is he now? On the outskirts in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. And now when he's standing there, does he know where to go? He doesn't know where to go. Has he packed extensively? No. He's standing there in the middle of the desert looking around like this. Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Pay attention. If I walk this way and I walk for 100 miles, I will end up somewhere, yes? But if I walk this way for 100 miles, will I end up somewhere entirely different? And if I walk this way for 100 miles, will I end up somewhere entirely different? Yes? Even a little bit of a change of angle, I might end up somewhere completely different. And now if you're walking in the desert, and you're off by 1 degree, could that mean you just end up in the middle of nowhere and just die of dehydration? Is that possible? Which means when he's going to walk it off, and you might even end up walking in a circle in the desert, for God's sake. You won't even know. So when he's walking in the middle of the desert, he has no GPS, no map, no nothing. He's looking around like this. We know that because the ayah tells us. Look at the beautiful ayah about GPS. وَلَمَّا تَوَجَّهَ تِلْقَاءَ مَدْيَنَ. When his face turned in the exact, precise direction of the city of Madian, which is hundreds of miles away. But when his face turned in the precise direction of Madian, قَالَ عَسَى رَبِّي أَن يَهْدِيَنِي سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. He said, maybe my master will guide me to the straightest path. Allah put in his heart, this is the way you need to go. Imagine. Just that. This is GPS from who? From Allah. Every step is being guided. And by the way, if you're going to walk in the desert, what's going to kill you? What's going to kill you? Thirst. وَلَمَّا وَرَدَ مَاءَ مَدْيَنَ. When he finally reached the waters of Madian, he got there somehow. Somehow with whatever rations he had, he survived. And now with the next thing we know, he has reached the waters of Madian. He leans over, he's trying to sip as much water as he can. He notices he's not alone. وَجَدَ عَلَيْهِ أُمَّةً مِّنَ النَّاسِ يَسْقُونَ. He finds a group of people there giving their animals to drink. There's sheep that are being fed, cows that are being fed, camels that are being fed. They're all drinking from the same pond. وَوَجَدَ مِن دُونِهِمْ امْرَأَتَيْنِ تَذُودَانِ. Far away from them, he found 2 girls that are tugging away at their sheep. So what does he see? 2 girls up on top of the hill. They've got a bunch of sheep. And those sheep, they're in the desert. They see the water. When the sheep see the water, what do they want to do? Go drink it. So the sheep are heading down. And these girls are, and the sheep are winning. Then the girls pull them up again. And there's this Olympic match happening between the girls and the sheep. And he sees this from a distance, Musa alayhi salam. And he's like, what is that? So he walks over to them. وَجَدَ مِن دُونِهِمْ امْرَأَتَيْنِ تَذُودَانِ. He walked over to them. Astaghfirullah, a young teenage boy walked over to 2 girls. That never happens. Now, I go to Islamic conventions. People think I go there to speak. I don't. I go there as a sociologist. I study the scene at the bazaar. Also, what is going on outside during the sessions. I sit in the crowd usually, blend in and kind of check out what's going on. My friend Abdul Nasir, Sheikh Abdul Nasir, also has the same problem. So he and I were at this convention that shall not be named, and we're walking together outside, and there's a bunch of guys and girls sitting together. Of course, they're all siblings, right? So they're all, they're chatting away, and so one guy goes, we're walking together, we're on the sidewalk, okay? And one guy goes, "This is the saddest day of my life." And the girl goes, "Aww." And Abdul Nasser, I kid you not, I'm dressed like this, like the kuffar. And Abdul Nasser's wearing the thobe, the whole nine, And he grabs he squeezes as hard as he can. He goes, "Slow down, I need to hear this." So they go, "Okay." So we start going, "This is the saddest day of my life." "Oh, why?" "Because after this convention is over, I'll never see you again. And I don't even know your name." Which is really hard for a sibling. But anyway, benefit of the doubt, whatever. So now Sheikh Abdul Nasser, he's a sheikh, he's a alim, but he's a Texan first. So he hears this and he goes, "Oh my God, that was amazing. I gotta write that down." And I was like, I might as well join in. That was actually very well executed, sir. I must hand you 20 points for that one. That was well. All these teenagers just start disappearing from the crowd. Boys and girls are gonna talk. Boys have an active imagination. They go to the convention, a girl walks by, "I'm gonna marry her." And then another one, no, forget that one, I'm gonna marry her. She looked at me. No, she didn't. She looked past you, but she did. I can't sleep now. So you have this problem. Look, we are in a society where boys and girls are going to interact. They go to college, they go to high school, they go to Islamic conventions, they go to the parking lot of the masjid after Jummah, for God's sake. Sunday school, seriously, Sunday school. There are these situations. How do you teach kids how to behave respectfully and not cross the line? There are extremes. One extreme in our community is women are evil. That's easy. If you see a woman, just say astaghfirullah and run the other way, run into a wall. It's just, like at the elevator. If this is this Muslim sister at the elevator, you walk away like. But if there's a non-Muslim, well, no problem. Let's just go in and, Khair. What he did, he walked over to these two young women. Young women, young man. Walks over to them. Never met before. They don't know he's Musa alayhi salam. Actually, he doesn't know he's alayhi salam yet either. He doesn't know. Walks over to them. And he says the most amazing opening line ever said in this kind of a situation. He says, "Ma khatbukuma." What is wrong with both of you? What is your deal? What is your problem? It seems to me that the way he spoke to them was almost irrespective of the fact that they were women. They were just two people having trouble, and he came and spoke to them as he would to anybody. And this is actually really important. We speak to people with a level of respect. All people with a level of respect. There are some etiquette we observe between brothers and sisters. You don't try to be chummy. You keep the conversation strictly business. But you don't have to be extra nice when you're talking to us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yep, I've been studying tajweed. Dear sisters, allow me to introduce myself. I am a muscular man. I'm the muscular man that may help you with your problem. You may rely upon me to take care of whatever it is that you might need. But don't worry, there is no price for awesomeness. No, he's not going to do any of that. He's just going to go there and say, "What? What's wrong with you?" And these girls are tough as nails. These girls are awesome. They know how to handle themselves. They turn back. Qalata, these two said, now here's what they didn't say. That's what they didn't say. لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء وأبونا شيخ كبير. We don't give our animals drink until the entire flock of idiots is done with their animals, and our dad is a big sheikh. What are they saying? They're saying that when they have to take their animals down to give them drink, those men down there are perverts. They don't respect women. They whistle at us, they howl at us, they are, they're animals. So we're going to let them finish, let them go, even if it takes all day. then at the end of the day, we're going to take our sheep. That's how we just the fact that we have to do it this way. And by the way, our dad is a big sheikh, which means two things again. One, it means he has a lot of social clout. He's a big deal around here. The other thing it means is he's a very old man, meaning he's too old to do this work. So we have to do it. So they're kind of saying both at the same time. They're telling him why they're out there, and they're also telling him, don't get any ideas, okay? Our dad's a pretty big deal. He's going to mess you up. That sort of thing. Now, before I go any further, please appreciate this is the Quran talking about young women in the workforce in a non-Muslim society that is hostile to women. That's what the Quran's talking. Is that relevant to our time? It's talking about women that have to go to work because their family situation is difficult. They don't have a choice. There is someone at home, there's a man at home, but he's incapable of doing work now. And they have to do it. Tough. And they're in a situation where men don't even respect their Islam. They're perverts. And they still have to deal with it and go out there and give their animals drink. Is this relevant? You know, we reduce this guidance to stories, just stories. These stories are there so we can develop our faith, so we know how to live our life with integrity. That's why this is there. He goes and asks, what's wrong with you? They say, this is the deal. He doesn't talk anymore. He doesn't allow me to help you with this task. No. He just grabs the animals and walks away. فَسَقَالَهُمَا. He walked down, muscular man that he is, moved the other people like flies, gave their animals drink, walked back up, handed them the animals, and sat back down under the shade. فَسَقَالَهُمَا ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى إِلَى الظِّلِّ. He gave them the drink and sat back down under the shade. And he didn't sit back down like one of you guys, like sit back down like, anything else? Oh, did you say something? No. He sat back down. He's done. He's done. Have they ever seen a man like that before? No. They've never seen a man that came to them and talked to them and didn't have some other motive. They've never seen someone who came and helped them and didn't ask them for their names, whether they're married, where they live, or whether they can pay him for it. Nothing. He just helped them and walked away and sat down in the shade. You know, sometimes you guys are so religious that your sister's got a flat tire on the highway. Astaghfirullah. Help her out, man, you moron. You don't have to, it's not un-Islamic to help her. What's wrong with you? We don't have to get socially awkward. People need help, you help them, that's it. That's simple, you know? So now, when he sat back down in the shade, he turned to Allah and he made this dua. قَالَ رَبِّي إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٍ. Master, whatever good you can send to me, I could desperately use it. Whatever good you send my way, I could desperately use it. This dua has two meanings. Because the word good is two things here. The word good means two things. Let me explain both of those things. Ya Allah, I have no home, I have no clothes, I have no food, I just have this water to drink over here. I am a fugitive from my home country. I don't know where I'm going to sleep. I don't know where I'm going to how I'm going to live. Whatever good you send me, I will take it. That's the first meaning. You understand? Here's the second meaning. Ya Allah, I made a pretty big mistake. I know that. And I know you've forgiven me. But I have a guilty conscience. And I want to make up for what I did, not just by asking you for forgiveness, but by doing good things. So just like you gave me a chance to help these two girls, if you send me any other volunteer opportunity, I could totally use it. You understand the two meanings? Any material good you give me, I could use it. Any opportunity to do a good deed you can give me, I could use it. If you have skeletons in your closet, if you have a mistake you've made before, then you are desperate to Allah to do any good you can. So he says, Ya Allah, I just helped those two girls, but if you ask me, if you need me to do anything else, let me know. I'm available. I'll make up for it. How do you know that you're really, really, really earning Allah's forgiveness? You are desperate to do what? Good. Even when you have nothing yourself. Even then. Everybody can offer something. This is the dua he makes. It's so beautiful. This dua reminds me of this genetic disorder that Desis have called takalluf. You familiar with takalluf? You go to see, the Arabs don't have takalluf much. The Arabs have a simple life. You go to an Arab's house, he says, Shay? Na'am. فَلْيَتَفَضَّل. Okay, so he'll give you tea, you drink it, that's it. When you go to a Desi's house, And they, and you're desi, they ask you, chai shai, pani shani, thanda shanda, Pepsi shepsi. Everything has to be with a sheen, right? And when somebody offers you, would you like some tea? You don't say yes. Badtamizi hoti hai. What do you say instead? Nahi, nahi, rehne de, hargiz nahi, kabhi nahi, bilkul nahi, kasam se nahi. Wallahi la uqsim billahi al-azim la urid abadan. Now if you say that to an Arab, I really don't want any. What are you going to say? Hasanan, akthar li, more for me? Like, yes. But if you say that to, let me translate Desi for you. When the Desi says, no, brother, no, please, no, never, ever, never. What they're saying is, hurry up, stupid. That's what they're saying. You just have a hard time saying it. But the Arab doesn't get that. So you go to the Arab's house and you say, no. He says, okay, fine, no for you. And then the Desi walks away from the bade badtameez hai, chai bhi nahi pilai in logon ne, like, yeah. These people are so, khair. I bring this up because Musa alayhi salam is desperate, yes or no? He's desperate. He asked who for help? Allah for help. Okay. These girls, when he helped them, did he help them for money? Who did he help them for? For Allah, because it was a good thing to do. It was a good thing to do. That's it. That's the only reason he helped them. He turned to Allah for help. Now listen to what happened. These girls went home. They went home later than usual or earlier than usual? Why did they end up earlier? Because they didn't have to wait all day. Why didn't they have to wait all day? Because Musa what? Helped them. Dad says, how are you home so early? They say, well, there was a guy who was kind of big like a tree. He kind of helped us out. Who is this guy? Does he know about this guy or no? No, the only story he will get about this guy is from who? His daughters. His daughters. He's a pretty decent guy. We know men. We go out every day. He's a decent guy. He came and helped us. He didn't ask us. He wasn't staring at us. We know when men stare. He wasn't staring at us. He wasn't checking us out. He wasn't asking us how old we are or we're married or whatever. He didn't do anything like that. He just looked like he was praying under the tree. Dad says, okay, you know what? We should pay him. Seems like he was desperate. We should pay him. Why don't you go and get him, bring him here? And he doesn't send both his daughters. He sends one of them. Now, if you're a father, what's safer? Send 2 girls or send 1? 2. But he sends how many? 1. You know why? Because he trusts her that much. He trusts her opinion of men outside that much that he can send her by herself. That's crazy. But that's what you have to do when you raise daughters in a non-Muslim society. You don't know men out there. They work, they go to university. You trust them enough to go out there, you better trust their opinion about men. So when they say it's a decent guy, then you better listen. And if you can't trust them enough, then you're living in the wrong century. Or there's something wrong with how you raised them. There was something wrong. This entire story is about trust. The first mother trusted her daughter to go out. Remember that? Now this father trusts that his girls can go and handle themselves properly. Go bring him. We should pay him. So meanwhile, Musa is under the tree saying what? Ya Allah, whatever good you bring me, I could totally use it. The girl walks over to him. فَجَاءَتْ إِحْدَاهُمَا تَمْشِي عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاءٍ. One of the girls walked over to him walking shyly. When they were together, they were tough. She's by herself. She got nervous. And so she comes over and she says, yeah, me again. Inna abi yad'uka. Okay, first of all, for real, it's my dad. He's the one calling you. It's nothing to do with me, okay? It's just my dad. He's calling you. لِيَجْزِيَكَ أَجْرَ مَا سَقَيْتَ لَنَا. So he could pay you for the animals you fed for us. She's super nervous. She comes and tells him that. Now, if he had takalluf, alhamdulillah, Musa alayhi salam was not a man of takalluf. If he was one of you, I did that for the sake, I did that for the sake of Allah. Sister, I want the reward in the akhirah. Don't tell me about dunya. Let me do it. Allah will give me. He understands that is stupid. He understands he just asked Allah for what? Whatever good you give me, I could use it. And the next ayah begins with the letter fa. فَجَاءَتْ إِحْدَاهُمَا تَمْشِي عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاءٍ. Ya Allah, whatever you give me, I could use it. Therefore, one of them came walking, asking to pay him. Therefore. Meaning the word therefore is there because it is the result of his dua. So he recognizes this is Allah answering his dua. When people are offering you help, idiot, it is Allah offering you help. Don't say, nahi, nahi, rehne de, bas chhode, chhode. Like, you haven't found a job, nobody's calling for their resume. You meet a brother at the masjid, akhi, I heard you were looking for a job, I might have an opening. No, akhi, it's okay. Ugh. You just asked Allah, Allah just sent this guy your way, and you're kicking him away, dummy. Don't become a beggar, don't beg people, but when people are offering you help, don't turn it down. It's not humiliating. It's a gift from Allah. So he says, let's go get paid. He went. He just, فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ, and he finally got to him. وَقَصَّ عَلَيْهِ الْقَصَص. Then Musa alayhi salam, obviously homeless guy, sitting there, getting paid. The father must have asked him, so what's going on with you? Tell me what's going on. And Musa alayhi salam has a lot on his chest, yeah? He's been through a lot. And now he sees a comforting man asking him what's up. So what does he do? He tells him everything. Well, it's a kind of a long story. I was a baby, supposed to be killed, raised as a prince. Kills her, the whole thing. And there are two girls on the other side of the wall. Oh my God. Oh, the poor thing. And they hear the whole story. And that's how I ended up here. The girl on the other side, one of them, قالت يا أبتي. She said, Dad, Abba, Baba Jan, Papa, Daddy. And there's a ta in there, Abba, Ti. If you say Abi, it means my dad. Hey Dad, could you come here? If you say Abati, it means Dad, I love you. Come here a second. Dad, my beloved father, Pyare Abba Jan, could you come here for a second? And what does she say? Dad, I love you so much. Here's what I want you to do. Istajirhu. Hire him. Acha. Hire him. I understand. Because if he hires him, where's he going to work? At the house. Young man, ripe for marriage, working at the house all day with two unmarried girls right there. This is explosive explosive materials in close contact with each other. The only way to make the situation sane is what? At least marry one of them off to him, make him family. But she's shy to say, come on, Dad, there's not any decent guy in this whole town. I know, I checked. I go out every day. The good men are hard to find. This guy is an honest human being. And he's so strong. And he could do our work. And he could take care of the family. And I kind of like him. And that's why I was shy when I was talking to him too. And he didn't even, try to hit on me or anything when we were walking. He walked in front and he told me to walk in front and guide me. And I walked in the back. He has that much integrity. He's the right man. We're not going to find another good man again like that. Dad, hire him. Inna khayra man istajarta al-qawiyyu al-amin. The best kind of person you can hire is the strong, the honest. He's got both the qualities we need. We need someone strong who can do this work. And we need an honest man because there are no honest men around here. That's the best kind of person you could hire. Now the father, amazingly enough, understands his daughter's code. He says, I got you, girl. I'll take care of you. He comes back out, and what do you expect him to say? I'd like to hire you. What does he say? Inni uridu an unkiha ihda ibnatayya hatayn. I want to marry one of my two girls to you. He understands his daughter or no? And by the way, the proposal came from the boy or came from the girl? Astaghfirullah al-azim. The proposal came from the girl. And she told her dad, I like that boy. And the dad, and she was shy to say it, so she said it in code. And what was her code? Hire him. And the dad was not dumb. He was a wise man. So he understood her code, and he translated it properly, and went out and said, listen, I'd like to marry one of my two girls to you. But also, first of all, the first astaghfirullah is the girl proposed. The second astaghfirullah is that the girl actually has had more time with him than the dad has. Outside. She's seen him outside. She's seen him in the real world. The dad's only had a conversation with him. That's it. That's all he's had. The third astaghfirullah is that he doesn't have a job. He's homeless and also an illegal immigrant. You understand, right? Not to mention, this is Madian, which means they are Arab, and he's Israeli. You understand this? And the girl says, I want to marry an Israeli believer who is homeless, who has run away and he's wanted for murder, but he's an honest guy. The only thing going for him. And dad says, I think you're right. So I say, young men who are not married, show of hands, young men who are not married, okay, it's okay. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Have some hope. When you go talk to her father, at least you haven't killed anyone. If it worked out for him, it'll work out for you. You just have to be strong and what? Honest. Those are the two things required of you. Two things. Very hard to find, by the way. Those two things. People present a fake version of themselves when marriage talks are happening. They're not honest about who they are. And their families lie on their behalf too. There's lying going on left and right. And it's so ugly. And it's so simple in our religious honesty. Even if something bad happened, just be honest about it. Just let people know. Let them know. So he says, I want to marry one of my two girls to you. Ala and ta'jurani. In exchange for you working for me. Oh my God, the next astaghfirullah al-azim is that Musa alayhi salam worked for his in-laws. And he lived with his in-laws. We say in our culture, you can't be a real man and live with your in-laws. I would like you to say that to Musa alayhi salam. See how that works out for you. Because if you're challenging the manhood of Musa alayhi salam, then you are free to say, a real man don't live with his in-laws. A real man is not hired by his father-in-law. This is shattering so many cultural assumptions that we have put on ourselves that make our life difficult. So many. People are humiliated for no reason. Anything a prophet does becomes noble. If Musa alayhi salam did it, it is noble. It is acceptable. Far beyond acceptable. It's noble. It's noble. But now, Joru ke ghulam, susral ke ghulam. We have all these things to say to these people. You have to respect people's circumstances. And now, in the midst of all of this, was there extensive family conversations? No, let's discuss this with your khala, and then khala's pupi, and then chachi, and chachi's tai, and my barber, and then we'll have several meetings. Is there any of this complication here? Girl pulls dad in, dad hire him, he says, gotcha, he comes out, okay, you know what, done deal. Why don't you work for me for 8 years? Why 8 years? He asks for 8 years because first of all, Musa is homeless. Even if he does marry her, now there's going to be 2 homeless people. So he needs to give them a home. And if it's 8 years, it'll be enough time for him to save up some money for himself, start a family. And if he stays for 8 years, then it gives the father 8 more years to find a boy for who? The other girl. This solves all these problems all at the same time. It gives Musa a chance, alayhi salam, to build his independence. And Musa turns around and says, هَذَا مَا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكَ. This is between you and me. Done deal. I like it. And by the way, the father added one more thing. وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ وَإِنْ أَتْمَمْتَ عَشْرًا فَمِنْ عِنْدِكَ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ. By the way, if you want to work for me 10 years, you could do that too. You could do 8 or you could do 10. By the way, you would think that father's being aggressive. But actually the father's being kind. Because 8 to 10 years of free housing, with a job, with a family, for a guy who's basically what? Homeless. This is all to the advantage of Musa alayhi salam. They're both benefiting from this. Okay? And he's looking out for Musa alayhi salam as much as he is for his own daughters. Musa alayhi salam says, this is a deal between you and me. أَيَّمَا الْأَجَلَيْنِ قَضَيْتْ فَلَا عُدْوَانَ عَلَيَّ. Whichever one of the 2 deadlines I am able to meet, then don't be hating on me. Okay, if I do 8 and want to go away, don't say, don't take my girl, come on. I thought you were going to do 10. You can't put any pressure on me. What are we learning in this ayah? In-laws should not put pressure on the son-in-law. It's in the Quran. And vice versa, by the way. And vice versa. And he says, Wallahu ala ma naqulu wakil. Allah is watching over whatever we say. Two people get married in the story. How do they get married? The boy meets girl outside. but doesn't do anything inappropriate, doesn't date her, doesn't, she gets to see him act and check his integrity in a situation where he was not on the spot. He had no idea. And then when they do talk, who's in the middle? Who's the intermediary between the boy and the girl? The girl's father. The girl's father is in between the boy and the girl. Who is not mentioned? Mother's not mentioned. Are the boy's parents mentioned? No. Is he going to wait and say, hold on, let me just call my mom? Can I get married? And then he married without the permission of what? His mother. Didn't he? This is kind of bad. Some people are getting nervous as I say this. Don't listen to this part. But relax. I'm not telling you to get married without the permission of your parents. Listen first. What I'm trying to tell you is, in the ideal circumstance, the primary communication between both sides should happen by who? As advised by the Quran. Should happen by who? The father. The father should facilitate communication between his daughter and the son-in-law. You understand? The primary negotiations are happening. The father is representing his daughter, and the father is making a deal with the son-in-law. The two people that are having the most conversation are the father and the son-in-law, and the father, of course, first has consent from who? His daughter. Has trust and consent and open communication with his daughter. You with me so far? When you have this kind of a situation, then you have clear communication. You have absolutely clear communication. What do we have in our culture at the moment? Who gets involved in the marriage conversation first? The father? 99% of the time, the father is completely uninvolved. Boy comes up to dad, dad, there's this girl. Yeah, talk to your mother, boy. And girl side, by the way, you can't even propose a boy, because it's bad. It's bad for a girl to propose a boy. Which, by the way, the Quran shattered by what? In this story, what happened? The girl suggested a boy. There's nothing wrong with that. Allah's book says there's nothing wrong with it, auntie. There's nothing. Besti hoti hai, nahi hoti besti. Nahi hoti besti. It's okay, relax. Calm down. It's in Allah's book. Now, especially when the boy's mother is involved. Let's talk about when the boy's mother is involved. See, they say in Arabic, al-qirdu fi ayni ummihi ghazal. They say a monkey in the eyes of his mother looks beautiful like a gazelle. So to you, to your mother, you are perfect. Uski to naak dekho. Uski to check out his nose. Check out his mashallah. Oh. And then some girl, they're talking to some family, and she's going to say, this one, her chin is too wide. This one's too short. This one's too fat. This one put the chai in the wrong place. This one didn't say wa alaikum assalam loud enough. This one, the mother somehow finds something wrong with everyone. And you go through 20 proposals, and the mom's got this rocket launcher. Like she just takes them all out. No problem. And this kid's like, my mom's not happy with anybody. And then the moms have also learned to develop some pretty overly dramatic statements. If you marry that girl, you are no longer my son. In ummahatuhum illa allai waladnahum. You can't change that. Your moms are the ones who gave you birth. Mom, you can say that, the lines you memorized from the Pakistani drama, all you want. I'm still your son. You can't change that. And every time moms get overly emotional, who's supposed to be the voice of reason? The father. But you go to the father and say, you're making your mother angry, boy. I don't want to hear anything. The guy who's supposed to understand says, I don't want to deal with it because I've been dealing with your mom long enough. You's in trouble with her. You keep that going. I ain't got nothing to do with this. So we've got ourselves a very bad situation because our children, adults that are going to college, that are in their 20s, that are in their 30s. I met a case not too long ago. A girl was 35. She likes this guy. She wants to marry him. You can say astaghfirullah all you want, but they've been talking to each other for 5 years. It's too late for that. She wants to marry him. The father says, I'll never let you marry him. Listen to me. Listen to me. Who should she marry? Who deserves to marry her? She's emotionally attached to this other man. Why should she? Why does any other decent guy deserve her? Why? Would you want to know that your wife was emotionally involved with somebody else before you got married? It doesn't make any sense. They've already made up their mind. They're 35 years old. They're not kids. And the guy's like, I don't know how to convince him. I wanted to slap him so hard across the face. Like, what is wrong with you people? You have to be, first of all, we have to treat the people that are old enough to get married, have to see themselves as adults, and their parents have to see them as adults, not as kids. Mere bacche ki shadi. It's not your bacche ki shadi. He's a bada gada now. It's like a huge, like he's not like bacche ki shadi, like, he's a man. He's a man. Let him make his decisions. And now, let me add one last thing here. One last thing. Because we have to clean this mess up. It's too ugly. It's too dirty. And we look for all the wrong reasons to get somebody married. All the wrong reasons. And the last of them is the guy actually likes the girl. That's not even in the consideration. Or at least the girl likes the guy. You have to like someone when you marry them. You're going to spend 50 years with them. You're going to spend 70 years with them. It's okay. Like Dr. Akram Nadwi says, it's not my words, it's his words, because he could say it, because he's a muhaddith. And I can't say it. It's okay to like someone. When a muhaddith says that, I was like, are you sure that's... Did anybody else hear that? Yes, it's okay. And then Dr. Akram went further. I love that man. He's my teacher. I love him. It's okay. You can fall in love. Just don't do haram things. Just get married. Oh, it goes that simple. But we've complicated this thing far too much. My last criticism, this boy calls me, Brother Naman, I have a problem. I said, what's her name? How did you know? I said, I've been around the block, bro. Just tell me, how long has it been going on? 3 years at college. She's a really good secretary at the MSA. I was like, save me the details. What's the problem? Well, I want to marry her. Okay, go ahead. Can I go now? No, don't hang up. Actually, the problem is that she can't tell her family. I was like, okay, fine, you tell her family. No, I can't. I have to tell my family first. Okay, I was like, okay, fine, easy. Tell your family. No, my mom would kill me. Okay. I think I know what your problem is. Go to the local Walgreens. In the baby section, there's a product called Similac. I want you to purchase Similac, the red one. Don't get the green one. It gives stomach aches later. Get the red one. Get a bottle. There's an 8 millimeter bottle, milliliter bottle. Get that. Put 2 teaspoons. Mix in with tap water. Heat it up in the microwave 40 seconds. You don't need more than that. Shake well. Sit in a corner and suck on the bottle until you become a man. And then you can talk to your mother. And we can continue this conversation. If you're old enough and you have someone in mind, young man, instead of telling her you like her, tell your family, tell her family. Don't create problems for yourself and for her. Do the dignified thing. Take the right approach. The girl liked Musa alayhi salam, and that's okay. It's fine. It's okay to like someone. But she did the right thing. What did she do? Talk to her dad. And her dad did the right thing because he trusted his daughter. We have to open up communication with our daughters. Our daughters have the right to like someone. They have the right to like someone. It's not against their dignity. It is something Allah put in human nature. So if they're coming to you and saying, Baba, there's this, the khutbah at the MSA last week was amazing. It's not about a khutbah. Who gave the khutbah? His name's Abdul Kareem, 5'10". Is he giving khutbah again next week? Actually, no, 3 weeks from now. It's a full calendar. She doesn't need you to hear the khutbah. She's trying to tell you something. Stop being dumb and listen. Go to the khutbah. Go to the boy afterwards. Nice khutbah, young man. Can I join you for lunch? Okay. And have a chat. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Especially in a circumstance where we are. Your neighbors aren't Muslim. Your co-workers aren't Muslim. You don't meet Muslims anywhere else. The vast majority of people around you are non-Muslims. So if these girls and these boys are going to university, they're going to work, and they see a good possible candidate, and they want to take the halal option, the right road, then we have to open that road for them instead of shutting it down. And when you shut it down, then you know what happens next, right? You know what happens next. The fitna that happens in our community is horrifying. It's horrifying. You cannot pretend that it's not there. No, we come from good family. Stop it. It doesn't matter what family you came from. Raging hormones are raging hormones. You know, لَيْسَ فِي الْحُبِّ مَشُورًا. When you get obsessed over a girl or a boy, then you don't want to hear any advice anymore. You know, we don't want them to have to think the only way they can have a relationship with someone is if they hide it from their parents. This is the problem. We've made this conversation scary. We've scared our children from having this conversation. If you're going to live in this society, you better open up. And you better openly have that conversation with your kids. Openly. So they feel like they can talk to you about anything and they don't have to hide anything from you. You don't have to constantly check their cell phones. You don't have to do that. You don't have to just barge into their room. Kisse baat kar rahe ho? You don't have to do that because they're open with you. They don't have to take that road. Open the halal so they don't have to pursue the haram. You know? You might think this is controversial. It's not at all. And this is just, it's how our history was. We've somehow deviated course and made things difficult.